Actors, if you're gonna use a tactical prop on film or television, at least look like you know what you're doing. Quick story. One of my first episodes of television was on SEAL Team. I was cast as a Saudi militant. I was supposed to be one of the most badass guys in the military, sent to help the SEAL Team catch some terrorists. So my first scene is in a foxhole with David Boreanaz and all the series regulars.
With none other than David Boreanaz from Bones.
I walk in this foxhole and he says, "You know how to use that?" To which I say, "Mm-mm." David's frustrated with me. He calls over the 2 real Navy SEALs who are there to advise on the show. 150-person crew, 6 series regulars in a foxhole, and we're underground under the old Red Line in Los Angeles, downtown.
And they sit there and wait
while I learn the ABCs of how to use a gun. So embarrassing. So the very first thing I did when I wrapped that show is buy myself a Glock and start training.
I have a Glock 9 under the bed and
Okay.
Show you what I learned. Lesson 1, trigger discipline. If your finger lives on the trigger, you look untrained. It doesn't go on the trigger until you're ready to hit your target. Until then, it rests up here on the frame. One of the most common tropes when you hand somebody one of these, they want to stand here and get a photo like this with their finger on the trigger. That's a no-no. You don't want to accidentally, oh my God, blow a hole in the ceiling. You keep that finger off that trigger at all times until the moment you are ready to destroy the target in front of you. Once you're done and that threat has been neutralized, it goes back to the frame. I did a guest star on NCIS way back in the day, and first thing they said is the network requests that your finger is never on the trigger. Even the networks are familiar with these practices, so be smart about it. Don't put your finger on that trigger until it's time to shoot the shot, and then it's back off. Don't flag people. Imagine there's a laser pointer at the end of your prop like I have here. If it sweeps across your scene partner, a crew member, or your own legs, that's flagging. That's a no-no. Even with a prop or a toy, it doesn't matter. We don't flag people. Even the projectile that comes out of this toy could blind somebody. And blanks in a real weapon surely can hurt somebody. So you never want to point it at anybody else on set. You always want to keep it pointed down, not at your foot, or up, depending on your surroundings. Make sure you're never flagging anybody, even with a prop. What to do when somebody hands you the prop? When handing off a firearm to somebody, you always put it in slide lock. That way it's unfireable. It's also customary to remove your magazine. As soon as a weapon is handed to us, it is our responsibility to confirm whether it's loaded or not. We need to know the condition of this weapon. Even if the person who handed it to you said, "Here you go, man, it's not loaded." You go, "Okay, cool, I'm still gonna confirm." We are to assume that it is loaded. Still, the flagging rules apply. If there's someone over there, I do not point it over there. As soon as we get this prop, we're gonna go through a very short checklist. It's 3 things. We're gonna check the mag, we're gonna check the chamber, and we're gonna do a visual check in the barrel. So the first thing on the checklist is take out the mag. Take out the magazine and see if there are rounds in there, and there are rounds in here. And then I'm gonna look in the chamber. In the chamber, you can always see right through it. The third thing we're gonna look at is the barrel. And sometimes there is a round stuck in this barrel, so we wanna look visually. We can also stick our pinky in there.
We're never gonna look down this direction
to see if there's a round in there. It's always this direction. And now I know that this prop is completely cleared, and I am ready to reinsert the magazine, and I can now chamber one of my rounds. And now I know I got a live one in there. I've confirmed it with my own eyes. I know the status of this prop. Lessons 1 through 3 were not only about looking like you know what you're doing, but they were also about set safety when handling a prop weapon. Now lessons 4 and 5, they're more just about looking like you know what you're doing. And this is lesson 4, flinching when firing. So one of the telltale signs of somebody who doesn't know what they're doing, somebody who flinches when they fire.
So you keep your eyes wide open.
If you're playing somebody who's not trained, maybe we can use this as a choice. Like maybe you're a man at home and you're using your wife's weapon and you've never used it before and you're nervous and you're blinking every time you fire. I mean, that is a possibility. And if we are trained, we're looking down the sights and we're minimizing movement. And the final lesson, one eye open, one eye closed. So one thing that we learn when we're trained is to fire with both eyes open. To not look down the sights with one eye. It's a little counterintuitive. Sure, most of us think this is the best way to do it, to close one eye so you're not seeing double vision. But we need to train ourselves to use both eyes to line up the cup of that rear sight with the post of the front sight. Because what happens when we close one of our eyes is we just cut off half of our peripheral over here. If we're trying to be the most efficient fighter possible in a gunfight, we don't want to cut off what could be coming in that direction. So we need to learn to line up those sights with both eyes open so that we can see what's coming from over there. So again, if you want to look like somebody who's like not comfortable with guns, then maybe you're going to close one eye and flinch. But trained military or police are going to keep their eyes open.
Keep both eyes open.
Keep both eyes open.
Always keep both eyes open.
Make sure you keep both eyes open.